Hey, welcome to my studio. It's a bit of a mess in here. I've been busy. I've been doing a lot of painting, but I wanted to pause for a bit from the painting and explain about how I paint. You know, it's one of the questions that I get asked the most, and it's also a question that I love to answer. I've been teaching in museums for almost 10 years now, and I started with the Dallas Museum of Art, and then I worked with the Meadows Museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, been on panels with the Guggenheim. I've worked with museums all over the country. And I also work with charities, nonprofits, school systems. I'll go into a school and we'll get all the kids into the auditorium, into the gymnasium, and I'll talk to them, and then we'll break out and we'll start painting. That's got to be one of my most things that I love the most, because one of the workshops that I do, we'll take the kids and we'll blindfold them. And then I'll give them raised line drawings, like the same sort of drawings that I make when I paint. And then also give them paints that feel different. Every color feels different. And then, so the kids are painting the same way that I paint. And in 5 or 10 minutes, all of them are painting. You know, it may sound difficult to paint when you can't see, but the truth is, it's pretty simple. It's there's some basic things, and I'll go through that with you. Basically, I paint the way that I get around, the way that I walk around in a room, or that I walk through a building, or even a town, and it's through touch. If you're visually impaired, use your sense of touch to do pretty much everything that your eyes would do. You know, it helps you cook, to eat, to put buttons on a shirt if you need to do everything that you need to do. There's adaptive ways to use touch to do that. So if I'm walking down a street, I'll use a cane, a white cane, or my guide dog, Eagle. And basically, you can think of the street as almost being a line. So you're going down the street and you're following that line, and you're using your sense of touch either on the guide dog's handle or on the cane. And then if you hit a cross street, like a street going in front of you, where the street that you're on and that cross street hits, you know exactly where in the city you've got to be. There's only one place where the two streets cross, and you're at that. It's the same way when it comes to doing art. I draw with lines that I can touch and feel. So every line that I put down on a canvas is raised, or it feels different in some way, some texture or something about it, so that I can actually touch it and feel it and see that it's there in my mind. I can see it with my hands. Let me give you an illustration here. Here's a silly little painting. I kind of like it. I think it's fun. It's a little robot, and he's peeking over some buildings. Now, if you were here with me, you could touch this, and you could actually feel that all the lines on here are raised. All the buildings, every window, the robot, all of it is in lines that you can touch and feel. So I'm touching the eye. I have little dots in the eye, like almost, I don't know what I was thinking, but I have these little dots in there, but you can feel them. So basically, you know, it's a way of being able to navigate. So it's the same techniques that I navigate around a city or a street. The other thing that you use your eyes for when you're painting is color. Let me show you. Let me find this. Here we go. Okay. So color is actually easy. The drawing part was hard to work out, but the color is easy. I just braille my color, you know, so you can read what color it is. Oh, you know, so that's easy. The other thing that I do with color that really helps is that I change the way the color feels. Now, paint is made from a medium, like it's a thing that is the kind of the paint, and a pigment, which is the color. So you can change the medium to be thin or thick or oily feeling. So thick, actually, you can carve it with a knife. And so thin, it runs like water, and anything in between, and all kinds of other textures. The great thing about that is it means that I can make each color feel different. So I can make a white feel like toothpaste. I can make a black runny like oil. You're not going to get those two textures confused, you know? Really thick paint, really, really runny paint. If I want to make a gray in between that black and white, I just mix for the texture that's in between those two colors. You know, easy peasy. So for me, it's the texture that I follow, not the color that you're looking at, but the way it feels. So I mix the colors to feel different. I'm really lucky in the time that I'm painting, because it has made things explode because of the technology that's out there. It's just incredible. Here, let me show you this really quickly. In my studio, in the other room, we have a massive 3D printer. And what's really interesting about that is, well, like I've got a little statue at the top of the Statue of Liberty, It's a little printout. Before 3D printers and a lot of this technology that I'm going to show you really quickly, if you were blind, if you couldn't find a statue or if something was too big for you to be able to feel, you just couldn't visualize it. Now though, I can actually print this out and feel it and understand what it looks like. And you can print out anything. Statues from ancient Greece, logos from companies. You can print out faces like Louis Armstrong. Get a photo of him and you can print him out so that you can actually feel his face and see what he looks like. It is just incredible. And the 3D printers are just getting better and better. The software for them is getting much better. I use that quite a bit. What I use even more though are just like my laptop, and I have this huge desktop that has this massive computing ability. But the software for that, like JAWS, NVDA, Braille Eyes, they're called screen readers, and it translates everything on the screen to you, either through talking or sound or a combination of the two. Those are great. Every device that you get, any like this pad, iPad, Android, the phones, they all come with
10:32 p.m.
They'll talk to you, like, so you put your finger around.
Ukulele tabs. Platypus evolution.
I don't know what that is.
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Sorry. So they'll talk to you,
Screen on.
and that's just software that comes built into these devices. So you can well imagine that if you're visually impaired, you have access to all kinds of other apps, programs that are designed just for you. And if you thought that, you would be right. Oh my goodness, there's so much out there, and there's more coming out all the time. One of my favorite, and I won't show you because it's not very visual to see, but basically what it does, if you have a photo, it'll reduce it to lines. So when you're touching the screen, it'll just vibrate. So there's not really much to see on it, but you can feel it vibrating. So as you're touching a thin line, it'll vibrate a little bit. A thick line will vibrate a lot. Now this kind of technology is new, but it's building on stuff that we've had for like 20 years, where we've had Braille printers, and then quickly after getting a Braille printer, they started making it where you could print out raised lines, like for drawings and things. They were very rudimentary like 20 years ago. Now though, instead of it being like this hammering thing where it'll hammer out the lines for you, it actually puts out this rubberized ink that's really cool, but not nearly as great as these touchscreen devices and things. In my studio back here, I've got a massive touchscreen that I can get in there and feel. It's just amazing what is out there, and it's one thing that I think is incredible is that when I first started painting, I didn't know if it would ever be the same as a sighted person's, which is the wrong way to think about art. Art is all about what you can do, and it's all about, it's not about competing with anybody. But one thing that I found though is that you can do anything that you want to with this. You can express yourself, you can push yourself with it, and I'm learning something new every day, and which is I think is brilliant. It's just the most fantastic thing. So if you have any questions about how I paint, I would love to hear them. I'm always giving workshops, and like I say, I work with kids, so ask anything. There's nothing that you can ask me that probably some little kid hasn't already asked. But thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it.